Happy holidays, everyone. Good afternoon and welcome to Newsbeat. My name is Kenneth Jesse. Here are stories making headlines this holiday. Self-styled pastor under police detention after confessing to helping a local chief kidnap, kill and secretly bury a 25-year-old nurse trainee. Upper East Regional Security Council implements fresh restrictions to improve the deteriorating security situation in Boko. Also coming up, Minister for Lands and Natural Resources says the distraction caused by the activities of illegal miners threaten the survival of Ghanaians. And later, we'll take you to Nigeria, where the Independent National Electoral Commission of that country declares 18 candidates to contest the presidential election scheduled for February next year. Details of these and many other stories, including stories from Ghana's first president, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, coming up shortly. Stay with us. Welcome to the program. The Minister of Lands and Natural Resources, Samuel Abu-Jinapor, says government has spent millions of cedis in the fight against illegal mining due to the impact of the menace on river bodies and forest reserves in the country. According to him, illegal mining poses a threat to the survival of the country, and he's calling on Ghanaians to support government's efforts in the fight against the illegal act.
Officers out there in the field cost lots of money. Police, soldiers, and the rest, they really cost lots of money. But that said, I think that the cost of it, if you look at it carefully, even relates to what is destroyed, the landscape of our country, the forest resources and the forest cover of our country, the river bodies in particular of our country. And if you look at it from that point of view, the amounts of money that are used to deploy security officers and operatives into the field to deal with illegal small-scale mining will literally be seen as pittance, given how much we lose as a result of the destruction that small-scale mining tends to have on the landscape, forests, and river bodies of our country. So yes, that we've spent considerable amount of money in dealing with this matter over the period of time is never in doubt. Oh, I think in millions of Ghana cedis. I wouldn't have the exact figure here, but billions of Ghana cedis. If you look at over the period of Operation Vanguard, Operation Hot 1, Operation Hot 2, and all the various interventions we've had to make to deal with illegal small-scale mining, it must be running into millions of Ghana cedis. But the point I'm trying to make is that that really, in terms of there is relativity to what we are losing as a country vis-a-vis the impact this menace is having on the survival of the country and the landscape of our country in itself, will not become significant, because then the real loss and the real cost of this menace lies in the destruction it has on the river bodies of our country. For example, today we're having to spend a good sum of money to reclaim the landscapes of our country as a result of years of excavation, years of illegal small-scale mining. That is at a cost to the country, and that cost is huge. And so whatever we will do and whatever we can do to come to grips and be able to sanitize this sector, the government is absolutely determined to do just that. I think there are a good number of stakeholders whose attitude and cooperation will have a major impact on our efforts to regulate and sanitize the small-scale mining sector of our country. The chiefs will have a role to play, and they continue to have a role to play. The security agencies have a role to play. local authorities such as assemblymen, district chief executives, and the rest have a role to play. So is it that citizens, particular citizens from mining communities, will also have a role to play. It will require the collective national action of all of us to be able to sanitize the small-scale mining sector of our country.
Right, so that was the Minister of Lands and Natural Resources. Meanwhile, the Convention People's Party is holding a memorial program in honor of the late founder and Ghana's first president, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. The General Secretary of the party, Nana Yaa Jantua, has used the occasion to take a swipe at President Akufo-Addo over what the party says is the failed attempt to fight illegal mining in the country.
And this 11 million Ghana cedis was also part of the workshop, the stakeholder meeting that was done by the Ministry of Mines and Natural Resources. That young boy, man, Abu Jinapo, has very good intentions, but are his people beneficiaries of the Galamsey? Who is helping him to fight? He alone cannot fight. So maybe the people are beneficiaries. The MPP, it is possible. The CPP is also demanding that the Ministry of Mines and Natural Resources give to Ghanaians a full account, financial account, of how this amount of money was spent. The CPP is asking Akufo-Addo Bawumia government to cease all mining activities in the country until further notice. We mean all mining activities, both legal and galamsey, to give us the opportunity to really interrogate all mining contracts and find an effective way of fighting the galamsey, and also ensuring that these mining contracts benefit Ghanaians. The economy of Ghana is in shambles, with a cedi to a dollar ratio of 4.5 in 2017 to a cedi to a dollar ratio of $1 to 10 cedis in 2022 is woefully unacceptable. And the whole nation must be worried. The whole nation must be worried. And I believe that the nation, Ghanaians who believe in Ghana, should come together with the CPP to pass a vote of no confidence in the Akufo-Addo government, Bawumia-led government, so that they will leave the Flagstaff House, so that they will know that they cannot take Ghanaians for granted. Enough. Enough. Prices are skyrocketing, and inflation is at its highest best. Actually, the economy is on a total grind, and there is no hope in sight, and they don't even care. That is the saddest part of it. The Akufo-Addo Bawumia government in opposition said they were going to depend on production and exports to run this country. Of course, that was a laudable initiative and a very good thinking. But today, what do we find? The country is import-driven. Every item in this country is imported, and we as a nation do not have adequate foreign exchange enough. Also, there are institutions that are made to promote exports in this country. But what work are they doing? As usual, drinking tea, taking petrol coupons, riding in big cars. All these companies, organizations that have been mandated to make sure that there is export to generate foreign exchange are nowhere to be found.
Right, and today being the 113th birthday of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, the managing editor of the Insight newspaper, Kwesi Pratt Jr. says Dr. Nkrumah deserves to be acknowledged extraordinarily as compared to the other founders of this country.
So if you have people who claim to value Ghana's independence so much, who want to protect the legacy of our independence, and they devalue the celebration of July 1st, what message are they sending? Double speak, clearly double speak. Clearly, nobody can take that credit. Nobody can share in that credit. That was July 1st, 1960. Nkrumah stands out clearly as the agitator and the leader of the Republican movement. He has no competition. So downgrade that one. Why would any country, why would any government, why would any people anywhere in the world downgrade the celebration of the day on which Republican status was achieved. When you talk about Nkrumah being the primus inter pares of our independence struggle, you are not saying that don't recognize the Ashitusha. You are not saying that don't recognize the contribution of Hannah Kudu. You are not saying that don't recognize the contribution of Anthony Wood. You understand? And so, their contribution must be recognized. But the prime mover, the person who accelerated the pace, and so on, is undoubtedly Osagyefo.
Every 21st September, Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Day is set aside to remember the birth of the first president of the Republic, the man who led the country through independence. However, some Ghanaians have expressed displeasure with the government's decision to make the day a public holiday. According to them, the economy is in crisis and declaring today a holiday is not enough.
Osagyefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah is recognized as the founder of Ghana due to his hard work in fighting for and leading the country to independence from the colonial masters. In honor of him, every 21st September has been set aside to honor and revive his legacies. On the day, videos and documentaries of the works and exploits of the first president of Ghana are aired on various television channels. However, some Ghanaians have expressed displeasure with the government's decision to make the day a public holiday.
Kwame
Nkrumah did not help the nation at all. For instance, South Africa during their independence did not drive their colonial masters away, and see how the country is progressing. But Nkrumah chased our colonial masters away, and we are now struggling. Every president is supposed to continue the works of Nkrumah, but because he didn't do anything for the country, no president can continue.
Motorway.
I know Kwame Nkrumah constructed the motorway. Although I have never seen him before, I heard he constructed the motorway. I believe if Kwame Nkrumah was alive, he would be very disappointed with the way the country is running. All his struggle will become waste.
The
Nkrumah Memorial Day is not relevant. The country is in a mess. Our leaders need to think of ways to put the economy back into form, other than celebrating the dead.
Away from that, thousands of unemployed nurses in the northern region have demonstrated across some principal streets of Tamale to express their displeasure over government's failure to engage their services. The nurses lament that since completion of school in 2019, they are yet to be posted to the various health institutions across the country.
Thousands of nurses who completed school years ago and are awaiting posting have embarked on a massive demonstration to register their displeasure over government's reluctance in engaging them to work. The demonstrators, after marching through some principal streets of Tamale, petitioned the president, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, through the Northern Regional Minister to ensure that they are posted to serve the country and to also better their lives. Francis Mengmi is the vice president of the unemployed nurses, and he had this to say.
We completed school, I think, 2019, so exactly today is 3 years. We were given the opportunity, 10th November 2021, to go through the Ministry of Health recruitment portal. We went through it with the diploma degrees. As we speak, they are at post. Nurse assistant clinicals, nurse assistant preventive are still in the house. After accessing the portal, it's 10 months now, it's getting to a year. We don't know what is happening. We did a follow-up to Ministry of Health more than 10 times. It all proved futile.
He added that many of their colleagues are dying due to frustrations, calling on government and other well-meaning Ghanaians to come to their aid to ensure that they are posted.
It's a sad story. I'm not working. My parents, who spend huge of money thinking that when I come out, I will take care of them, is in a mess. Frustration. Many of our police are dying out of frustration. Recently, we attended a lot of funerals. So, in fact, we will use this medium or this opportunity to call on the vice president of the land. He's from the north. call on the Speaker of Parliament to query the Health Minister on how they are recruiting nurses in this country.
Adizatu Abubakari is a member of the demonstrating nurses. She had this to say.
We are suffering very, very much. We've reached a stage in our lives when our parents are looking after us because they've spent huge sums of money. When I completed 2019 and took the receipt of a school fees I paid from admission to completion, it was more than 10,000 Ghana cedis. Not to talk of the clinicals we embarked on. We funded it ourselves. We fed ourselves. We wrote our reports and printed them and presented it to the school with our own monies. So we are pleading with me.
From the northern region, let's bring you back to the capital, where the McCarthy Hill Residents Association and the Pambra Salt Company are calling on the government to ensure the immediate seizure of operations of Empire Cement. A factory is said to be operated by some Chinese immigrants. Residents lament the operations of the cement factory has resulted in air pollution and in turn affected their health.
Lot of health issues, especially with air pollution that has affected their health in diverse ways. This is stemming down from operations of one cement factory known as the Empire Cement Factory. Residents here have cried foul about how their operations have over the years affected them, from children to the aged. They've had their fair share of operations of the Empire Cement Factory, and other factories around the cement factory have also complained. First, I would be joined by Mr. Sandy Osei-Ajiman. He is a resident here to explain further. Good afternoon, welcome to Metro News.
How are you?
I'm very well. How long have you been living here?
About 20 plus years.
And what really is the concern about Empire Cement and then their operations?
Well, we've lived here in tranquility and peace all these years. Till last year when they put this cement factory, which they've been told by all authorities not to do that. I said we live here in tranquility all these years. Until last year we saw that they're trying to put a cement factory, which is a no-no. All research have proven that you do not site cement factory in a densely populated area. That's why you see all the cement factories far away from where people live. So why they were given the authority to put this here in the midst of where people live is what we're fighting against. Because we do not want our children, our grandchildren to grow up breathing this dust, which can cause serious problems with health, including cancer, including bronchitis, including asthma. So that's what we're fighting. And we're fighting this because from day one, we knew that this wasn't going to work. And the deception that this Empire people started, this was also annoying. They started saying they were going to do cement bags, knowing very well that their intention was to do cement. So we work with EPA, we work with the Ministry of Science and Environment. We work with the Standard Authority have also come in, and all of them have told them to desist from doing what they're doing. Yet, you know how the Chinese with their Ghanaian collaborators are.
So is that to say that this very factory is being operated by Chinese and then with collaboration from Ghanaians?
From a Ghanaian, yes, definitely. And you know, the Chinese will provide the money or whatever it is, and they're doing this, knowing damn well that most of the time we don't enforce our rules here. I mean, you see what is happening with the Galamsey, the same issue. If we do not fight this and stop it now, what is it going to be? What next neighborhood are they going to destroy?
But you have Tina Mensah being your MP. What has she said so far? What really were the outlines of engagement with the Ministry of Science and Environment and Science?
We engaged MC and Tina, who is also a friend. We engaged them in the beginning. We told them we did not approve of this because initially, before they did it, we did not have the stakeholders meeting. They said they had the stakeholders meeting with other areas, but they never engaged McCarthy. So they know very well that we are against putting the cement factory here. You know, so Tina knows that very well. But the issue is, in the beginning, a letter from the Chief of Staff to the MC directed them to tell them to stop building this, but they didn't follow. EPA that had been involved, they didn't listen. Science and Ministry of Science and Technology have also gotten involved because they did the interministerial committee, and the report came out that they can do this here. But they're still doing it. And they are not, they sneak in the night to produce the cement.
But what steps have you taken as residents? Again, kindly look into my camera. What steps have you taken as residents? Have you been to court? What are authorities? Because for MEST, that is the Ministry of Environment, Science and Technology, EPA, to still issue warnings and then they'll still go adamant and operate looks quite worrisome. Yeah, but what are you doing in your
court to reinforce what the ministry have told them not to do? So at least with a court order to stop them, then at least we can bring some finality to this. So at least we know for a fact that the Ministry of Science and Technology have told them not to do it. EP have told them not to do it, but they're still doing it. So our last recourse is the court. What I'm scared of, or what I'm afraid of, is that if we do not stop them now and they keep sneaking and producing, when you go to court and then they tell the court that, oh, they still produce, they've been producing, then the court says, since they've been producing, maybe they should allow them to. We need to stop that. We won't allow this. So we will fight it whatever way that we have to do legally to stop it. We're making a statement for Ghana that there are some citizens here that do care about our country, and there are some citizens here that will fight what is not right. And there are some citizens in Ghana here that love our country, that our rules and regulations, our laws must be made to work. That's what we're fighting for.
But finally, let me just get in a line or two. You have been here for over 20 years. Since they started, have you been able to identify 1, 2, or 3 persons that have come up with different respiratory diseases of various forms?
Producing, so it's a long-term thing. That's why I said we're protecting our children, our grandchildren, and some of our old folks. It's not going to happen overnight, but over a period of time. Over a period of time, you're going to see the effect. But most importantly, even immediately, if they start doing this, look at the cement, the salt that Palm Bros produce. What's going to happen to it? You're going to be eating salt. You're going to be eating cement and salt instead of salt. I mean, does that make sense to you? So, and also remember that that place is a Ramsar site. So you're not supposed to be doing any of this. And then the Wager Dam, they over to sometimes when the rain comes, it falls over. So why are you doing all this in a place that is sacred? I don't understand.
Thank you so much. So that is Sandy Osei Ajiman. He is a senior resident here at Makati Hill. And like he mentioned, the Empire Cement Factory is sited close to the Palm Bros Salt Factory, where salt is mined and then fed to many citizens here in Ghana. So there is going to be possible contamination of underground water, which is used in mining of the salt. And another question that comes up is usually the EPA does health assessment of various factories before they are siting. So was it that it was done and then the repercussions were ignored, or EPA did not really do due diligence? But these are some questions residents here have been asking. My name is Shadrach Odame Eja, reporting from Makati Hills here in Accra for Metro News.
Thank you very much, Shadrach. This is Newsbeat on Metro Television with me, Kenneth. Jesse, here's what to expect after the break.
It's a concept that we can sell out to the government for the Ministry of Gender to take up and conscientize communities to be able to get couples to appreciate that unpaid care work.
Hello again. Oxfam Ghana is urging the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection to consider its Family Values module, which seeks to redistribute unpaid care work at home from women and children to have more support from men.
Household chores such as taking care of children, cooking, cleaning, washing, taking care of the aged, sick people, shopping, among others, referred to as unpaid care work, are commonly understood as the responsibility of women, especially in developing countries. This responsibility is heavily a disproportionate amount of care work that puts stress on women. It has, however, become a harmful stereotype. In a survey Oxfam conducted in 2020 during the peak of the coronavirus pandemic, a total of 6,385 people across 5 countries reported feeling more anxious, depressed, isolated, overworked, or ill because they were having to shoulder even more unpaid care work as a result of the lockdowns. In order to educate communities on the need for redistributing unpaid care work, Oxfam and partners working on the Women Economic Advancement for Collective Transformation REACT project organized a cooking competition for men under the gender model family concept in the Kananto community within the West Gonja district of the Savannah region.
The model family is a concept that equips couples with the complementarity in terms of taking care of unpaid care work in the house. It is a concept that we can sell out to the government for the Ministry of Gender to take up and conscientize communities to be able to get couples to appreciate that unpaid care work women do in the house and support in getting it done properly.
The idea of the gender model families is to interact with communities on gender roles and how they should challenge some of the unhealthy masculinities. One of the men in the cooking contest shared his experience.
About the cooking side. The cooking side, I've seen that a man should help a wife to be cooking. I've seen that one person cooking is a problem. So if we can help, we can be helping our wife. I think that one, it will help them.
The women, on the other hand, had time to relax and dance while the men battled it out in the cooking contest.
Has reduced women burden. As they are cooking, like if it is in the house, I will also be sweeping or washing our children's clothes or doing something else. So it has reduced burden and tension.
Unpaid care work takes up space that prevents women from undertaking economic activities, especially in most rural communities. Communities participating in the gender model families explore the reasons why men and women perform different roles in the community and the socio-economic impact of the heavy workload on women. Oxfam and its partners, Share Network, NORSAC, Tunteya are working to help families redistribute unpaid care work. Ghana's gender ministry is therefore being urged to consider the REACT project and adopt its ideology.
Let's talk about the crisis in Bawku as the Upper East Regional Security Council has implemented fresh restrictions to improve the deteriorating security situation in Bawku. In a statement after an emergency meeting, the RECSEC announced the extension of the curfew to 3 communities. Here are excerpts. And it says the police, Ghana Immigration Service and the military are allowed to use official motorbikes between 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Temporal ban on yellow operations until further notice. Curfew hours to cover Nayoka, Glagu and Manga. A pastor has been arrested by police in Mankasim in connection with the kidnapping, killing and secret burial of a 25-year-old nurse. After confessing to assisting a chief in the community to commit the heinous act, the pastor, together with police investigators on Tuesday, exhumed the body of the student, Georgina Asobutri. Owner of the residential apartment, popularly known as Nana Clark, and the Tufuhene of Edumaji, Akwakrum, under the Kumfi traditional area has since absconded. However, a pastor believed to be an accomplice has been arrested and in police custody. It is believed that the deceased was murdered and buried in the residential apartment for ritual purposes. Here are some residents expressing shock over the incident.
Them take away when you begin net stras and a number of one and the addition, mental creed, maybe not the fisherman. No one man. No, movies are getting up when you today, I all of a sudden, you been shedding him who BBR, BB the Mason.
It's my governor met say was a Nana Clark and hey, and some beers, why? Mushumi de America mam kaba. No wala sofu bi no yin na crack wa ku bi ne ba ye na hye. Timi apro we tutu and we tu na we de egu ha. Hey, ye di tim ka kan kra me ehun de we tu funi wade na ekọ.
Woma yemfo ye nansi fom. Na ye fam papa na no kwani nazi. Na san no kwani deja. Obi biara. Ya adusua. The master must have been see and put them a beam. The master will be see other. It's a record. It's in a woman and mama for Nancy from.
Assemblyman for the area, Alex Kujapia, who equally expressed shock over the development, wants security agencies to up their game, even though he describes the security situation in Mankassing as generally peaceful.
You see, we should be each one's keeper. The best person that can protect you is you yourself, not even the institutions. The institutions have roles to play. And I also advise that anytime we hear of anything going on within the community, at least we should try to alert the security personnel in town. So that they can...
A very unfortunate incident there. Now, residents living in and around the Odona area have been urged to adopt cleanliness as a way of promoting healthy lifestyle. The Light Foundation, in partnership with the UNDP, has organized a massive cleanup exercise as part of efforts to mark the World Cleanup Day.
World Cleanup Day aims to raise awareness of the mismanaged waste crisis by mobilizing all spheres of society to participate in cleanup actions. The annual Global Social Action Program is aimed at combating the global solid waste problem through a collective cleanup campaign. The Small Grant Program under the UNDP through the Light Foundation has embarked on a massive cleanup exercise at Odona as part of activities to mark World Cleanup Day and to also increase awareness and social behavioral change towards waste management.
So when you look at the water now, you can see there is dredging going on, and we also want to clean this area so that everybody will see what we are doing.
Chief Executive Officer of the Light Foundation, Sheikh Alina Pari, highlighted the health implications of improper solid waste management.
Today, we are here with the community and the people. We thank everybody who left their job to mark this day for us to clean up our community and then mark the day. Especially this Odona River. We know how the river stretches, and then it cuts across from here going to other communities. When it rains and it's flooded, it causes havoc.
Assemblyman for the Odona electoral area, Henrik Nikina, says sanitary conditions in the area have been a grave source of headache to him.
We suffered so much with floods, and we expect that if we do not clean the drains, the basin of the drains, when the floods comes, it washes all these things back then. Sometimes if we also find ourselves that if we don't clean this place to make sure that the place is clean, people begin to turn the place as a dumping place, and that will also increase waste behind at the banks of the river. We are also here to educate the communities here to realize that the river is very, very important and need to be protected.
Chairman of the Assorted Waste Management Association at Odona also commended the collaborative effort by both outfits, which has led to the thorough cleanup exercise.
Let's talk pension as the Deputy Minister of Employment and Labour Relations, Bright Rekubrobe, says government will roll out the risk-based supervisory system to strengthen the regulation of pension schemes in the country. According to him, the technology that is being developed will guarantee the security of pension funds and investments.
The Deputy Minister for Employment and Labour Relations was speaking at the inauguration of the Public Service Pensioners Association, organized by the Civil and Local Government Staff Association, Ghana, CLOGSAG. Civil service workers after retirement are usually faced with having little to depend on, as their monthly pension payments are lower than their tax salaries. President of CLOGSAG, Dr. Evans Jikum, said the Public Service Pensioners Association is aimed at improving the lives of civil service workers even after retirement.
As part of its mandate to improve the well-being of members, both active and retired, it is significant to note that CLOGSAG has once again set a pace in establishing association that can effectively support all staff on retirement within the public services organizations.
According to the Deputy Minister of Employment and Labour Relations, government is putting in place a risk-based supervisory system to strengthen the regulation of pension schemes and protect pension funds that are contributed.
Government in the coming months would roll out the risk-based supervisory system in an enterprise resource planning solution to strengthen the regulation of pensions by the MPRA. This new system would seek to automate regulatory processes, ensure real-time monitoring, and thereby guarantee the security of pension funds and investments.
He said although the operation of pension schemes in the country can be optimized, it is no reason for people not to patronize pension schemes. Leadership of CLOGSAG assured the scheme will be implemented without misappropriation and malice.
Considering the fact that only a small proportion of the working population are enrolled onto the Tier 3 pension scheme. This clearly shows that the pension industry is not operating at its fullest potential just yet, and the formation of PESPA serves as an additional platform to promote dialogue and deepen collaboration for pension reforms that will inure to the object of the National Pensions Act 2008, Act 766 as amended.
Business News is next. And in business today, Ghana's quarterly gross domestic product showed an increase of 4.8% in the review of the second quarter. The April to June quarter report revealed that the manufacturing, crops, mining and quarrying, information and communication, as well as the education subsectors were the main drivers of the GDP for the second quarter. The fishing subsector saw a decline of 3% from 4.7% to 1.7%. The growth of crops also slowed from 1.3% to 1% in the second quarter. The professional, administrative and support activities subsectors also saw a decline. Head of the Statistical Service, Professor Samuel Enim, encouraged that more attention be given to such areas.
It's important we pay attention to the subsector growth rate. As we indicated, the headline growth rate was 4.8%. But if you look at it from a subsector perspective, we realize that the services sector had the highest growth rate of 5.2%, followed by the agricultural and the industry sectors that grew by 4.6% and 4.4% respectively. From a policy perspective, we need to pay attention to the subsectors that contracted over the period.
In response to whether this growth will negate the recent economic stresses like high inflation and the cedi depreciation, Professor Enin explained that it was too early to judge this development, explaining that despite the increase, there may be a lag effect in the next quarter.
I would request that we tread with some circumspection, in the sense that it will be too early to say that we've negated whatever effect that the exchange rate, the inflation is having on the growth. Let's keep in mind that what we've released is year-on-year inflation. Let's also keep in mind that whatever happened to inflation peaked in the second quarter of this year, and actually in the latter part of 2021, and indeed in the second, third, and fourth quarters of 2021, inflation, I would say, that was nowhere close to where we are now. So there's a potential of a lag effect going into the third quarter and subsequently the fourth quarter of 2022.
He added that the country's real sector growth will determine how the Russia-Ukraine war and COVID-19 will continue to affect the economy. That's it for business. Sports news is next. And in sports today, Accra Hearts of Oak will play Malian side Real Bamako in the second round of the CAF Confederations Cup. The Phobians drew a bye in the first round and will have to navigate their way around the 2022 Malian Cup winners. Samuel Buedu's team will travel to Mali on the weekend of October 7th to 9th for the first leg encounter. The return leg will be held here in Ghana, the Accra Sports Stadium on the weekend of October 14th to 16th. Real Bamako qualified from the first round by beating AS Douanes of Burkina Faso 3-1 on penalties at the Stade Mobutu Keita in Bamako. After a goalless aggregate score, the winner of the Hearts and Real Bamako tie will move to the playoff round where they will take on one of the 16 losers from the CAF Champions League Round 2. Hearts of Oak are Ghana's only representative in Africa following Kumasi Asante Kotoko's disappointing exit from the CAF Champions League. Brighton and Hove Albion right back Tariq Lamptey is oozing with confidence and looks very hungry for his first Ghana appearance when the Black Stars take on the Seleção of Brazil in Le Havre on September 23rd in this international window. Now, Tariq Lamptey is one of the new players in the Black Stars camp who have impressed in training since the team assembled on Monday.
I feel really good. Training has been really good. It's good to get to know everybody. It's a very high quality here, and we're working hard in training to listen to what the coach has to say, and looking forward to the game. Yeah, everyone's been fantastic. Everyone's been very welcoming. Talking to everyone, getting to know everyone. Yeah, it feels like a family here, so it's all good. Yeah, I'm very proud to be here, and I'm really just trying to train hard, give as best as I can for the team, and looking forward to the game on Friday. In this game, you have to just prepare really well. You prepare how you prepare to play, and we're all really excited and looking forward to playing against on the team on Friday. To be honest, I'm just really excited to come here and get to work now. And being here, I'm very happy.
It's now time for entertainment, and Desmond Dokreku Danso is standing by with the latest. Desmond, what's up in entertainment?
Well, today in entertainment, we are taking a look at some songs that have been made in honor of Osagyefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, as we remember him, coming up after this. I'm Desmond Dokreku Danso now, and as we celebrate Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Day today, we put the spotlight on songs made by artists to celebrate the iconic figure. In the 40s and 50s, a number of bands made songs in honor of Dr. Nkrumah, and plays were also done in support of him. Kwame Nkrumah, recognizing the importance of entertainment to his campaign, endorsed a number of them, including the Temples Band, which accompanied Nkrumah at international events, and the band composed a song titled Kwame Nkrumah on their 1959 album King of High Life Anthology. Following that, a number of artists have made songs in honor of Osagyefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. Obrafour, inspired by the achievements and works of Nkrumah, released a song titled Kwame Nkrumah in 1999. Popular musician and radio presenter Black Rasta also released the song in 2009 to celebrate Kwame Nkrumah. And producer EL also featured Obrafour on the Kwame Nkrumah Part 2 song in 2016.
Whatever the case, I know it's been a while waiting, but first we'll pour some libation for Kwame Nkrumah. Osagyefo's name will continue to live as he is an inspiration to all, and many more songs will be made in his honor. And that's all for entertainment. Kenneth was dancing to the songs. At least
right. Obrafour's song to Kwame Nkrumah is actually one of my favorites. Thank you, Desmond, for bringing us the latest in entertainment. International news is next.
The Independent National Electoral Commission of Nigeria has cleared 18 candidates to contest the presidential election scheduled for February next year, as the parties have filed presidential candidates and their running mates. The list includes the names of 75-year-old veteran presidential contestant and former Vice President Atiku Abubakar of the opposition People's Democratic Party and former Lagos Governor Ahmed Bola Tinubu, 70, of the ruling All Progressive Congress. Election campaigns officially begin Wednesday, September 28, 2022. President Putin, in a rare address to the nation, announced a partial mobilization of reservists for his special military operation in Ukraine. He said this was a necessary step to ensure territorial integrity and protect people in Russia-occupied territories of Ukraine. However, the U.S. ambassador in Ukraine, Bridget Brink, says the partial mobilization of military reservists ordered by President Putin is a sign of weakness. She posted on her Twitter page saying, "Sham referenda and mobilization are signs of weakness of Russia's failure. The United States will never recognize Russia's claim to purportedly annexed Ukraine territory, and we will continue to stand with Ukraine for as long as it takes." Russia's invasion of Ukraine took center stage at the United Nations General Assembly, with Germany and France condemning Vladimir Putin's imperialism, while Qatar, Senegal, and Turkey are calling for immediate peace talks. Meanwhile, Lithuania is urging the establishment of War Crimes Tribunal to punish Moscow's atrocities.
That's it for now, but before we go, a look again at our top stories. Self-styled pastor under police detention after confessing to helping a local chief kidnap, kill, and secretly bury a 25-year-old nurse trainee. Upper East Regional Security Council implements fresh restrictions to improve the deteriorating security situation in Boko. The Minister for Lands and Natural Resources says the distraction caused by the activities of illegal miners threaten the survival of Ghanaians. And we took you to Nigeria, where the Independent National Electoral Commission of that country clears 18 candidates to contest the presidential election scheduled for February next year. Thank you very much for being a part of the holiday edition of Newsbeat. My name is Kenneth Jesse. Bye for now.